Good evening, Raj.
Hi, Priya.
We're back again 6 years later after the steel flyover debacle of 2016. 16th October was the day of the human chain. We're here once again on a discussion on the flyover which is being posed by the government between Chalukya and Hebbal. Appreciate very much the kind of work that you've done in terms of trying to understand the issues on a ground level and also the real issues that would make sure that this is a really redundant project. This is the analysis of redundancy and the proposed alternative. Let's jump straight into it. I think all of us really want to know, what is it that we should know about this new flyover? So Raj, over to you.
Thanks, Priya. So I'll straight away jump into the PPT. So I've divided this into three parts. The first one is the flyover itself. And the next is the reasons we say that it is redundant or not required. And the third is what are the relevant alternatives or options or factors which we should look into as concerned citizens of this Nama Bengaluru.
Got it.
So the flyover itself is, as per media reports, from Hebbal Junction to Chalukya Circle, just like before, 7 kilometers, and via Mekri Circle. This is the plan that they want to carry out. And similar plan in 2016 was dropped after many concerned citizens put forward reasons like loss of trees and greenery, huge cost, chaos and disruption of traffic during the construction phase of 3+ years, resultant reduction in road width, and this flyover would obviously encourage private transport and discourage public transport. So with these reasons and others, the government at the highest levels reviewed the project and dropped it, and we thought everything is over. But then now suddenly they have revived it, and the onus is completely on them, those who want this flyover to be revived, to justify why it is required. But despite that, we are moving ahead and saying, taking into consideration the new factors which are there since 2016, which are relevant for this particular subject. So first of all, we need to understand that the route along this flyover is having maximum traffic going to the airport or returning from the airport. The airport, as we all know, has average daily footfalls of over 1 lakh today. And right now, there is no option to travel to the airport other than roads. And this particular stretch takes the maximum part of that traffic which goes to the airport and returns. So in addition, the other factor is that this stretch also bears the brunt of, I'm using the words consciously, VIP movements, because, and that's when the traffic is stopped for the VIPs to move, or, if not fully stopped, they are regulated. And that is when we see traffic jams building up or congestion building up. So we need to look at the traffic to and from airport and VIP movements to get to understand this situation better. So let's jump into the next part, that is the redundancy of this flyover. So the very first factor is that now we have several road options other than the what we call as the airport road to reach the airport. Now that is only available from the eastern or northeastern part of Bangalore. That is from what we call as the old Madras road or Banaswadi side. There is the ring road there. So we have a road which goes via Tanisandra and Bagalur. There's another one which goes via Bayapanalli and also Bagalur. And the third one goes via Budigere. So a lot of traffic is diverted already to these roads because people in that area need not come to Hebbal at all or use this flyover stretch. The second one is that, very, very important one is that last year, middle of last year, the BMRCL received final sanction for work on the airport corridor from Central Silk Board via KR Puram Hebbal to the airport for the Nama Metro. This is a 58 kilometers route, and BMRCL has publicly stated several times that it will be ready in 2025. And I must give them credit that the work is going on literally on a war footing. So we should be seeing this ready. And the moment this is ready, just imagine the southern or southeastern part, the eastern part, the northeastern part of Bangalore, all of them have a direct access to the airport by 2025 without using roads. So this is the second factor.
Right.
The third one is that the same airport corridor has 3 stations in it, which have connectivity to other public transport networks of, lines of their own. For example, at Central Silk Board, you will have one line coming from South End Circle via BTM layout coming to Central Silk Board. Another line will be coming from Electronic City, that is Bomasandra side, along Hosur Road to Central Silk Board. So these 2 corridors will have connectivity to the airport corridor. Similarly, at KR-Puram, or Bayapanalli, we will have, we already have a line going from Indiranagar or MG Road side, which is functioning. And the next one, I think very soon we'll be having the road from Whitefield, which is going to connect at the Bayapanalli station. So people from these 2 corridors will have connectivity to the airport corridor. The next one is at Nagavara. Nagavara is going to have a connectivity of a new corridor, which starts from Gottigere, that is Banarghetta Road, Indian Institute of Management, that side. From there straight to Nagavara. So all these people living around this corridor through MG Road will have connectivity to the airport corridor. This is significant. It cannot be, ignored. These are new things which are happening. The next one, the 4th point, is that already the phase 3 of Namma Metro, the DPR work is going on, wherein we are talking about a new line from Sarjapura, cutting across the city south to north and going to Hebbal, and lo and behold, it goes along the path of this flyover. So why do we need it? If we are talking about this metro, we do not want a 3-layer thing, one road above, below, another road above, another metro above, and maybe tomorrow a suburban rail on top. Not required. So this is the 4th factor to be considered. And the 5th one now is something which has not been started yet, unfortunately, but it received sanction 2 years ago this month. That is Suburban Rail Project of Bangalore. Now, it was supposed to be completed, as a sanction letter which I have displayed shows, in October 2026, all 4 corridors of this Suburban Rail Project. And mind you, I want to clarify, Suburban Rail Project, people have this thing in their mind that, oh, it's a train. No, it is, if not better, it is equal to metro, with similar frequencies, with similar or better coaches, which we can use, very modern ones. And the frequency will be 5 to 12 minutes probably. So the thing is, this was supposed to be completed by 26, and the sanction letter, where I have circled it in red, it says very clearly, airport corridor to be completed within 3 years, that is October 2023. So it shows that the union government understood the importance of this airport corridor, and that is why this has been stipulated very clearly. Next, we go to a very important connected point, that is against the sanction letter stipulation. And let me also reveal that DULT, Government of Karnataka's own department, had recommended that the airport corridor should be built on priority. So against that, and I would say against the interests of Bangalore, the GOK has advised KRIDE to deprioritize airport corridor for whatever reasons. Now, my question is very, very specific. If you have taken the decision to deprioritize airport corridor, why are you talking about this airport traffic at all? If you are so concerned, you should have gone ahead with the airport corridor in full scale. You have not done that. So this is something which they need to answer. We do not know. There is no transparency in this decision. And it is very clear that the Suburban Rail's airport corridor is going to give us plenty of benefits, much, much more than this flyover can. Now I want to go to a very, very important point. On 20 June 2022, 4 months ago, our Honorable Prime Minister came to Bangalore, formally laid the foundation stone of this project, Suburban Rail project, and publicly committed that he will ensure this project, all 4 corridors, will be commissioned within 40 months. And that deadline gets over in October 2025. So now the ball is in the court of the government of Karnataka. Please do not let down the city, the 2 crore people living in the city and around the city, and please do not let down our Honorable Prime Minister. You have to work on a war footing to keep up the words. And so by 25 or 26, the Suburban Rail project must be completed as per the Prime Minister's words or as per the sanction letter. So when that is the case, we need to think about it before we think about these new flyovers. The important point about this this airport corridor is this. It starts from Bangalore City Railway Station via Malleshwara, Yashwantpura, Lotigolhalli, Kodigehalli, Yelahanka. It goes to the airport terminal. Now, at City Railway Station in Yashwantpura, very, very important, these 2 stations are crucial. They are railway terminals. That means if somebody is coming from Tumkur side or Mysore side to go to the airport with this airport corridor of Suburban Rail, those people need not get onto the roads at all. They can just simply change platforms at these 2 stations, get into the Suburban Rail and go to the airport. So the traffic congestion reduces. In addition, these 2 stations have very good bus stands and metro stations nearby. So, for example, the green and purple line of the metro, present metro, will have access to Suburban Rail's airport corridor at these 2 stations. We have separately listed out 21 reasons, can you believe it, why this airport corridor is required for Bangalore, and it is for the people who are the decision makers to listen to us. Now, another important factor. You might have come across news recently, a week or 10 days ago, wherein they said that the K-Ride has started some signs of work on a particular corridor. Now, which is that corridor? It is this one, Bayapanhalli to Yashwantpura, Chikkabanawara via Hebbal. Let me tell you, as of this moment, I have no information that the actual work has started, but yes, they have kept some barricades and it looks like work will start soon. Now, how will this be benefiting for airport movement? So simple. People from Yashwantpur, where you have a metro station, where you have a railway terminal, that side, they can take the suburban train, come to Hebbal, switch over to the metro, which will be there to go to the airport. So that much less traffic on the roads. Anybody along this corridor, Bayapanhalli to Hebbal, to Yashwantpura, to Chikbanawara, they can just take the suburban train, come to Hebbal within minutes and switch over to the metro and go to the airport. Next, we have been told that the second corridor that they will take up, the K-Ride in the Bangalore Suburban Rail project, will be the Hilalige, Bayapanhalli, Yelahanka, Rajanakunte corridor. Now, this is also going to have huge impact on the road traffic. How? Hilalige is where you have the electronic city and all the Hosur road, huge amount of people wanting to go to the airport. So they will have a means of going, for example, Bengaluru, they will have a means of going to Bayapanhalli, switching over to the metro there, going to the airport. And later, they can even go to Yelahanka, and there, when the airport corridor of the suburban rail is ready, they can switch over to that train, which will be just across the platform, and go to the airport. So next is, we have come to know recently through paper media that BBMP is in advanced stage of planning widening of the road from Mekri Circle to Kaveri Theatre. It's about almost 1 kilometer. And probably it needs some widening on the palace side because of the congestion there and the narrow road and a lot of traffic and all that. So their aim is to make sure that the traffic moves smoothly there. So why do we don't need widening, and on top of that one flyover, we don't need it. Now, if you look at the composite picture, you have the metro corridors, which are already existing and work in progress. You have the suburban rail corridor, work in progress, I will call it straight away, and one or two other corridors of metro which are planned. This is the complete picture. And we're going to see more and more of these getting ready in the next 1 or 2, 3 years. Let's not talk about flyovers now. One more reason. I will straight away remind the government of Karnataka of the Ejipura flyover. 5 years in the making, 2.5 kilometers, not yet ready, endless wait. So please, 7 kilometers, we don't trust you. Straightforward. This will become a pure white elephant as soon as it is built. So let's drop it. Now, if we drop it, what is the options right now? So we jump into that now straight away. From our side, along this same stretch of this flyover, we have suggested improvements, minor improvements, which can be put in place in days or weeks, not months or years, days or weeks, at Mekri Circle, at Kaveri Junction, at BDA Flyover Junction, and at Old High Road Junction, which can help improve traffic flow. Now, with this kind of improvement, I don't say that it will become perfectly all right, but definitely there will be improvement. Anything which improves should be tried unless there is a strong reason against it. So we appeal to the government to try these improvements, which we have already suggested to both the traffic police and recently to BBMP officials too. Next, we all know once again that the government of Karnataka is again in an advanced stage of making changes to the Hebbal flyover in order to improve the traffic flow there. So the moment that is done, obviously the traffic jam on the flyover will reduce, and the surrounding areas, that is the roads leading to the flyovers, will also be having lesser congestion. So no need for a flyover there from Chalukya to there. Now I come to a very, very important thing, which unfortunately most people of Bangalore ignore. Because when we talk of public transport, Priya, we talk about autos, cabs, maybe, but we talk about BMTC bus, we talk about metro, and we stop there. We forget about the fact that Bangalore is extremely fortunate, and this diagram shows it, that if you look at the surrounding towns, 50 to 60 kilometers radius from the city railway station, you will be surprised. We have 500 kilometers running tracks right now and 70 railway stations existing. This has to sink in. We have to leverage this. Why haven't we done it till today? This is a question which people need to answer, because this is a low-hanging fruit. We have not done it. And you can see right in the middle of this where there are, you know, those circles or rings where we can easily leverage these things for local transport. Let me tell you, in India, we have 10 or more cities with suburban rail or local commuter rail, as they call it, but we don't have any. That's the sad part. So with a lot of work that is going on in the railways in improving infrastructure in and around Bangalore, these services can be further improved. We can have services quickly right now in days and weeks. There is one more suggestion we have. With a fraction of the amount required for this flyover, Government of Karnataka can step forward and fund the doubling of the track from Yelahanka to the airport terminal. I have shown it in blue. The red is the one which is existing to Devanahalli. They can take a turn after Dodjala straight to the airport, have a double track. This work can be completed in 6 to 12 months. And let me also add to this, that this is part of the airport corridor which K-Ride is supposed to make. So maybe GOK can ask K-Ride to do this part and hand it over to the railways. And whenever they make their airport corridor, they can start using it. So this is also, again, low-hanging fruit. And this will give access to the airport terminal from all parts of Bangalore. Because Yelahanka is connected to various junctions in Bangalore, City Railway Station, Yashwantpur, Cantonment, Bayapanahalli, you name it. Right now, as we speak, there are 8 trains going to Devanhalli, and 6 of them have been specifically started for the airport. Now, these trains can seat about 500 people each. Unfortunately, the patronage is very poor for various reasons. I will not go through that in this particular thing because our focus is somewhere else. My appeal to the government of Karnataka is to step forward and intervene to ensure that the patronage increases. Out of the 28,000 people who go to airport for work daily, we need only 10% of them to switch over to these trains. So we have, given out many steps which railways can take, which BIL can take, and we are waiting for them to take this. GOK has to facilitate this, and we can have a option of commute to the airport other than the roads. The last one, or rather the second last one, is BMTC. At Hebbal, we have a simple small bus stand like we have elsewhere in Bangalore. Hebbal should be made into a bus terminus by BMTC. There is space, and from there, they should run buses all over to all points across the city so that people can reach Hebbal, and from there, they have options to go to the airport very easily. That will reduce the traffic on all the roads, not just the road for which the flyover is being considered. So they can also act as feeders to the railways, suburban rail Hebbal station, to the metro station, which will come up there soon. Another option for the government, if it is really serious to give public transport facility to airport terminal from center of the city, is to build one branch line from either Kaban Park metro station or Shivaji Nagar metro station, whichever one of those, right up to Hebbal via Mekri Circle. Now here I have shown 2 routes. One is along the Sankey Road, the other is along the Cantonment Railway Station. Cantonment Railway Station can get its missed out and much needed tight integration with metro and railways if they follow that route. So this is going to be about 8 kilometers, and they can build this much faster than the flyover, because right now BMRCL is doing great speedy work. So they can do this, and that will give us a great option to reach Hebbal. There is a PRR being worked on. This PRR is going to reduce traffic within Bangalore, because all the traffic is crossing the city to go to the other towns or cities. So that will all be diverted. Obviously, Hebbal stretch will also get its share of benefit from this. The next one is important, and again, many people don't think about it, VIP movement. We have plenty of VIP movement on this particular stretch. Now, I am putting forth this thought that please take the helicopter, it is cheaper. How is it cheaper? It is cheaper because you are stopping a lot of traffic. People are wasting time, money, fuel, and pollution is increasing because of the weight that is there of the vehicles. And so many people and vehicles are used for VIP movements to be with the VIPs. So all that can be taken care of by just using. Bangalore is a global city. Let us have a lot of helicopter landing places at suitable points, and let the VIPs move faster and to wherever they want to using helicopters. We will have definitely improvement in this flyover stretch. The last point is, all these kind of projects must be taken up under the much talked about and committed, much delayed UMTA.
Yeah.
Government of Karnataka, please step forward and as per your commitment, come out with the UMTA and let them handle all this to get a holistic view of about all the things that are relevant for these kind of projects. So that is something which is so important for such a project. They should do it immediately. Now, with this, I will go jump into the conclusion part. Very, very clear. This flyover is completely redundant, very disruptive and destructive, and lots of money going to be spent, and does not even merit consideration. Let's drop it permanently. We appeal to the government of Karnataka to take up what is in hand, work in progress, do it on a war footing. We don't want anything new, unless what is in hand is completed and given to us, so that we can see the benefits of those. And then we can think of new things. The one which is in hand on a platter available, not being acted upon, and we are talking about new projects. That is not right. So for the benefit of the 2 crore people, please complete what is in hand. Please focus on public transport. What is public transport? Mainly BMTC bus, BMRCL metro, K-Ride rail, that is a suburban rail project, and Southwestern Railways rail, that is the existing rail infrastructure with tight integration between various modes of public transport. That holds the key to true mitigation of not only this flyover stretch issues, but the entire city. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Raj. That was an absolute eye-opener. The amount of research and effort that you've put into what could be viewed as the first reaction, which is, oh yeah, seems obvious. Most things which are very, very obvious don't seem to hit the right spot. But I have to ask you 2 questions. I mean, this is great because
Sure.
you've spent, the detailing is very clear, and I'm getting a sense of this. But I want to focus on 2 things. You use the word redundancy a lot. You've used the word low-hanging fruit.
Yes.
And it seems to me that there is something just unnatural about the fact that such obvious solutions, which are well within our power, our time frame, our budgets, are being ignored for something which is literally a pie in the sky. So what are your thoughts on this? And what do we as citizens do to put this forward?
Great. First things first, redundancy. Very, very simple example. We have a new flyover which has started over Shivananda Circle. It is redundant. It is absolutely useless. It has added to the problems.
Absolutely.
And I mean, we have to live with it. That is the worst part. Whoever started it is not there in the scene anymore, and we have to live with this. So we don't want these kind of things happening because we love our city. Namma Bengaluru cannot have these kind of things happening. We are a very enlightened set of citizens who love our city and who are emotionally attached to this city, and we can't have people fooling around like this. It has happened in the past. It may be happening now. It may happen in the future. But if we are aware and if we, express our views, at least we'll be able to satisfy our own conscience that yes, we have done this part at least. But having said that, let me also add that none of us needs to put our time, efforts, money into all this. We too have our personal lives to take care of, but only because, I wouldn't say all, but a section of the officials and public representatives are not stepping forward to do the right things, we have to get into this space. This is the reality.
I see that, Raj, and I also see such a lot of reticence about suburban rail. So many of the emphasis, the initiatives have started with great good intention, but have always been rolled back. If you had, I'm going to end with this because I think what you've walked us through is very clear on a number of different parameters, which is what is the problem it's going to solve? What has not been considered? What are the obvious disadvantages? Where is it actually going to cause a problem? And you've moved forward into what are the 21 reasons why it shouldn't happen, but you've also given alternatives. So I think it's been a very clear path as not just something like, oh, this is bad, but here's something.
No. There is no negativity in this. This is full of positivity.
Yeah, this is just putting it out there. Maybe somebody hasn't sort of all put it all together like you have, but it's a great opportunity for us to see it. But I would end with this. If you had a message to give out to the different forms of transportation that we have in the city, and of course we're ignoring our lovely pedestrians, but if you had message to give out either collectively or individually to the metro, the suburban rail, which is the Department of Railways, BMTC, and of course, the Chief Minister, because he's the person who sort of holds it all together. What would this message be as a citizen who's so committed? All of us are, but you have done a huge amount of work to be able to put into black and white why we need to have some oversight on this. What would your message be, Raj, as a very, very concerned citizen?
My message is simple. We need not face the problems we are facing right now. Traffic congestion and all its consequences, for which Bangalore is unfortunately globally infamous, is something which we can overcome practically, but provided the right steps are taken at the right speed, with the right intent, and with the full heart and mind and soul in it. That's it.
True focus on results, on truly believing in your city, and most important, collaboration and integration between the different departments that an UMTA can do, and which is really needed to look at a huge problem that Bangalore has, and a problem that you say, and which I agree, Raj, can be somewhat surmounted by the right steps at the right time with the right intent. So thank you so much, Raj, for this
Thank you.
very enlightening
Namaskar.
discussion. And we will see what we can do with all this. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.